Hey everyone, Andang here for more of LOTRO, and today we are going to be talking with Athi Gym Cutter, and probably his mom again as well, and learning of what is going to be going on here, and why we are in his home to begin with. So let's go ahead and talk with him.
Let us visit my brother Grafar at Narathak, and see if he needs any assistance.
You have heard the rules, Andang. Let us visit my brother Grafar at Narathak, and see if he needs any assistance with his work in the new loads. That should satisfy Mother Ama, and I intend for you to meet my brother anyway. The new loads of Narathak have been recently delved, and can be found east of here, beyond the passage that runs from the entryway to the hall under the mountain. My brother spends most of his waking hours mining for the precious gems we need to further our craft. There has always been great demand for the jewelry my family fashions, and Grafar works hard to ensure we have what we need to meet it. Alright, well, he's cutting gems. His brother is out there mining. Not exactly a fair trade in my opinion, but to each their own, I suppose. Alright. You guys might want to clean up all these gems. Clearly thinking this is... I mean, I guess we are inside Erebor. No one else is going to get in here. This is pretty safe, right? Nobody's going to be stealing this stuff. It's not like there's millions of players coming through here. Alright. Let's go this way and see about this mine. Here we go into one of the ugliest mines in LOTRO. This is the entrance to the recently delved new loads of Narathak.
Althi speaks very highly of you. Welcome to Narathak, our latest delving.
Ha! You must be Andang. Athi speaks highly of you, and tells me you can hold your own in a good old-fashioned tavern brawl. Are you also adept at cleaning mines of vermin? Every new delve we dig seems to unearth all manner of unpleasant pests, and these new loads are no exception. I have a crate of precious stones ready to return to Mother Ama, and I could use someone to carry it. But if you could first thin the ranks of the cave claws and other irritations in Narathak, I would ever be at your service. Alright. Somehow it always ends up this way. We just find ourselves taking on cave claws. Yes, defeated vermin. Oh, thank goodness for that. Yeah, you yell at me, buddy. See what happens. Alright. Let's keep on going here. I have fought tougher cave claws in my day, that's for sure. There we go, that's all the cave claws we needed to take on, so let's go back to this crazy dwarf. Alright, here's that crate we're supposed to pick up, let's go ahead and get that. And now we get to carry it all the way back to Mother Ama. Alright, here we go. grandma nods at you and indicates she has a necklace that needs delivering. I guess we'll go deliver this necklace. Earth accepts the necklace and admires its fine craftsmanship.
I had heard a rumor that the gem cutters might leave Erebor in disgrace.
I had expected the delivery to come from one of the gem cutters themselves. But so long as I have the piece I requested, I suppose it is worth no complaint. There is something about the personal touch that turns an ordinary customer into a repeat customer, if you ask me. But apparently that is not something everyone believes. Unless... Erfith trails off and looks at you conspiratorially. I heard a rumor that the gem cutters might have fallen on hard times, and they plan to leave Erebor in disgrace. I am not saying it is true, just that I heard of it from the tail spinner Keel. And if the gem cutters have chosen to delegate the responsibilities to others, then perhaps there is some truth in it. Jeez, where have all the gossipers been in Middle-earth? Apparently right here in Erebor. My goodness. Just a bunch of gossiping dwarves, that's all we got here. Thank you for your delivery. Even so, I will miss the gem cutters when they depart Erebor, even if their service has lost the touch of the personal that first made me interested in their pieces. Or this is just a really lonely dwarf. You know, it's a lonely mountain, there's a lonely wizard, apparently this is the lonely dwarf. Do you think this has something to do with Funi's long departure? He brought one of the sons with him, but left the other with his wife. I heard from Keel that they might rejoin him and start a new life away across the misty mountains, but I don't know that I believe that part of it. Someone named Keel has been spreading rumors about the gem cutters. Jeez. And when LOTRO gets on a plot point, they just stick with it and won't get away from it for a long time, it seems. Like, there'll be a whole set of quests just dedicated to that. And it makes you think that, oh, this is how the whole place is. When in reality, it's just a few people, but... you know, that's LOTRO, I guess. I still don't get how we got to be their delivery person. Did Erfith the Quarrelsome have something about which to complain? You reluctantly recount the rumor that Erfith mentioned to you about the gem cutters leaving Erebor in disgrace, and Arthy's cheerful face twists angrily. Leave the lonely mountain? And in disgrace? What rubbish! Where did Erfith hear this nonsense? Who is spreading these lies about my family? Well, you know, you should have thought of that before asking an adventurer to do your work for you. I'm just saying.
Who is spreading these lies about my family?
You say Erfith mentioned the name Keel. That does not surprise me. He is one of the Zelruka, a clan of dwarves from the east. But he has lived here in Erebor for many years and caused no serious trouble whatsoever. Until now. He is a spinner of tales, and in my experience he has never had a truthful thing to say. I have found his untrue tales to be harmless, for the most part. He has never spoken ill of my family before. Why has he now begun to spread these lies about the gem cutters? Go ask him why he has chosen this course, Andang. He tends to loiter outside, by the entrance to the Lonely Mountain, but I have not seen him today. A damaging song? Am I the only one lost here? I feel like we're just randomly being dragged into something we never signed up for. But that's LOTRO, I guess. Here we go. This must be Keel. He seems to have attracted an audience.
Ah, another listener.
If you would like to hear grand tales about history of the Dwarves and other peoples of the North, you have come to the right spot. You listen to Kill the Tale Spinner.
In March, an army of Janguvar came out of the east and crossed the Iron Fold.
Led by their fearsome chieftains, and buoyed by the power of Sauron, they threatened the people of the Dale lands, and King Brand stood between his people and their terrible foes. While the men of Dale fled before the approaching army, hoping to make for the safety of the Lonely Mountain and the protection of their dwarf allies, King Brand stood alone in the water of the river crossing. He was felled by arrows in the stream, and King Dain escaped to safety of Erebor. Should he have stood with his ally and risked death thereby? Who can say? The dwarves had need of their king, and after the fight to the Lonely Mountain, he fought against the Jengovar and died before the very gates. The mountain was besieged, and both Dale and Erebor were saved only by the sudden defeat of Sauron in the lands far to the south. Had it only come sooner, both King Brand and Dain Ironfoot might still live to lead their people. Is that truly how the events unfolded? Respond to the truthfulness of Keely's account. Agree, yes, ahem, angry, confused, grumble, or no? You know what? I'm saying no. Even if it is true. There's way too much gossip going on here. We're saying no. Kill is wrong. King Brand and Dain Ironfoot died before the gates of Erebor.
There is no shortage of tales from the Battle of Dale and the siege of the Lonely Mountain.
My friends, have you heard the tale of Darth Plagueis the White? Excuse me, I got my tales mixed up. Have you heard tale of the great furnace the Jengovar built by Raven Hill? A frightening construction of pipes and valves it was, with wings of red feather extending above in mimicry of the dragon Smaug. None can say for certain what powered the terrible device, but I heard from some who saw it that the furnace contained a fire grim of unspoken heat. Metal pipes carried noxious fumes from the device to channels in the stone. The Jengovar believed they could fill the Lonely Mountain with smoke and force the dwarves to flee from their well-protected fastness. You may scoff, but friends of mine saw this device with their own eyes, and it was destroyed by a small group of canny dwarves who manipulated the valves and prevented too much smoke from entering the mountain. They shut down the machine and defeated the Fire Grim, if such it was. Truly there was enough bravery to go around on that day. Even if some do not believe this tale, I assure you it is true. Alright, we're still saying no because you're gossiping, buddy. Did the Jengovar truly assemble such a machine as Keel describes? Nope. This story beggars belief. No such machine existed at the battle. Oh no. We might be changing the course of events here in Middle-earth.
Hearken now to a tale of the distant past.
These stories are of recent vintage. It is true. Hearken now to a tale of the distant past. a tale that grows in mystery and allure with every passing decade. More than 6,000 years ago, the land shook with great calamity, and the home of my people was riven with great cracks and torn asunder. The beautiful Hall of Torrents in the distant east collapsed, and thousands of my people were slain. The Zelruka became a wandering people, and were turned away by all their neighbors. But King Durin II, who ruled in Khazad-dûm, heard of their plight, and showed mercy to the wanderers. He bade them travel to the Grey Mountains, and promised a place would be made for them in Gundabad. King Turos of the Zelruka began a great march across the northern lands, and stayed for a time, helping the Longbeards of the Iron Hills repair their own damaged halls. When the Zelruka again departed for Gundabad, they parted as friends, and promised a healthy trade partnership when they came to their new home. Kill pauses dramatically. But they never arrived at Gundabad. King Turuz and the Zelruka disappeared in the Grey Mountains, and no trace of them was ever found. King Durin and his son Borin sent several companies of dwarves to search for them, but to no avail. After 7 times 7 years, the Longbeards gave up the search. And yet one of the Zelruka survived. His name was Gurek, and he appeared without warning at the gates of Gundabad, half-starved and raving mad. He told a confusing tale of what had befallen his people, that they came across a stream that flowed out of the high mountains and gleamed like silver. The shine of the water came from tiny fragments of mithril, and when the Zelruka followed it to its source, they discovered a grand cavern full of gold, wondrous gemstones, and mithril to rival Khazad-dûm. They abandoned their journey at once, and carved a great hall they named Tharfar Gathol, the Grey Citadel, and they used all their craft and spells to hide the entrance. What became of Thafar Gathol, no tale tells, and neither does the history record how Guruk alone came to Gundabad. But Zelruka and the Longbeards alike still lust for the riches of lost Thufar Gothul, and despite numerous attempts at searching the Grey Mountains, none have ever had the good fortune to find it since it vanished. But it is still out there, my friends, wanting to be found.
Yep, gonna say no on that too, even though we want it to be true. How can Kill believe this tale? Darfal Gathol never existed. And the secret police have erased all knowledge of any events here.
The promise of finding lost Thafar Gathol has long moved the hearts of dwarves.
Of Longbeards and Zelruka, to adventure among the dangerous mountains, disturbing worm and orc alike, but none have returned from such journeys with news of its whereabouts. It has attained an air of mystery and of dread, and some dwarves have chosen less daring pursuits, if less rewarding. This is the case with the Gem Cutters, a Longbeard family whose jewelry has achieved some renown among the folk of the Lonely Mountain. In recent months, their craft has fallen somewhat, and Forney Jim Cutter has had to leave his wife and 2 of his sons behind, while he seeks some means of recovering their fortunes. I heard he traveled beyond the Misty Mountains, and is overlong in returning, which causes his wife to worry. If he does not return soon, and with good tidings of new fortune, she will be forced to abandon their home, and set out from the Lonely Mountain in disgrace. It is a shame, but such things have been happening more and more in these difficult days.
You tell Kill, you have heard these rumors concerning the Gem Cutters are untrue. And he snorts. Dang it, here I thought we were going to have a chance to basically disgrace the whole family who's had us be doing all these crazy quests the whole time. But instead, I guess we have to tell the truth, even if we don't know if that is the truth, because we don't know anything really about the family we're helping, or this guy, or the history in general that we're talking about, so I don't know why we're an authority figure on this. I feel very unprepared for this quest, but nonetheless, here we are.
I only know what I have heard, friend. It is not so hard to believe, is it? I speak only the truth, and I bristle at the suggestion that my stories are anything but honest.
Kill refuses to take back his story about the Gem Cutters. I wonder what would have happened if we said it was true the whole time. Would we now be saying that that story was true? Makes you wonder. Alright, let's head back to Athi and find out if any of this is true. I don't know. We gotta find this out. Gotta get to the bottom of this.
Keel Tail Spinner always speaks such nonsense.
It is as I said, is it not? Kill Tailspinner always speaks such nonsense. What stories did he spin for you today?
You briefly recount Kill's words, and Athi laughs aloud.
Utter rubbish and nonsense! Everyone knows that King Brand and Dine Ironfoot fought side by side before the gates of the Lonely Mountain. And when the King of Dale fell, the King under the Mountain fought to protect his allies' body from the ravages of their foes, ceasing only when he too was slain. And a machine powered by a fire grim? How could the Jangovar have ever constructed such a device? Or tamed such a spirit? It is absurdity! But none of these are as unbelievable as the tale of Thafar Gathol. If such a city ever existed, it would have been found by now. Preposterous drivel.
I must take this matter before King Thorin.
And yet, none of these tales are as personally offensive to me as the gossip he spreads about my family. It seems he will not stop until he is forced to stop, Andang. I must take this matter before King Thorin. Only the king under the mountain can prevail upon Keel and cease his rumor-mongering. Will you speak on my behalf before the king? I trust you and no others to help me with this, my friend. Tell me if you are willing, and we will petition King Thorin together.
Alright, well when we return, we will go to the king under the very, very lonely mountain, and hopefully learn of the truth here. And I do know that the whole Fire Grim thing was probably true, right? So that means all of the rest of it's possibly true? I don't know. We'll have to wait and find out. But that, of course, is not till next time. If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like down below, and I'll see you again real soon for more of LOTRO.